This is Oilersnation Radio, your one-stop shop for everything Oilers. 1 hour of straight hockey talk with Bagged Milk, Tyler, Liam, Rick, and Dan starts now.
Welcome to Oilersnation Radio podcast. Is this a proper intro we're looking for? Because I usually don't do this. I'm usually on the opposite end of the mic. Usually not on the mic unless I'm with Aaron. We got Dan, Kennedy, Rick, Aaron. This is
B team.
Wow. Yeah, I want to say this is the C squad if anything. Like this is a tough look for the boys. I don't know.
I just wanted you to do like an intro song, not take over the hosting duties from me.
Two of the regular hosts on. We got Kennedy who just did a podcast. She's a podcast girly now, and I mean proper episode for Kennedy to be on after Taylor Swift's appearance.
Thank you. I'm so glad this happened.
Inbound for the Who Cares crowd to come in and say, "Who cares that Taylor Swift?"
She's cheering for the other team. Why do you care?
Oh, is she? Well, I have now beat with Taylor Swift. Okay, I did
before.
She's
0-1 well, she's 0-1 against us and Leon and Connor.
Welcome, dear listeners, to another episode of Oilersnation Radio.
Let's get on the rails,
presented by our friends over at Oodle Noodle. My name is Dan Gallant. As you didn't hear in our intro to the podcast, this is 1 hour of straight hockey talk from your friends.
There's no BM.
Not Bagged Milk.
No Ty.
Not Tyler.
No
Rick
Liam.
and Dan are here.
Which is good.
Waz is to my left. We've got Kennedy to our right, just off of camera.
Hello.
And Aaron, extraordinaire producer, behind the scenes. He's going to be doing all of my ad reads today because
I'm honored to join you guys. This is not the C team, Waz. That's bullshit. This is the B team.
Well,
what if I want to be a C?
I think it's been about a year and a half since I've hosted one of these episodes on my own. Rick, this is our first time riding or dying as the B crew together. We are talking an Edmonton Oilers 5-4 OT win in Game 4.
Yeah, it's exactly what we wanted. I don't know who was feeling overly nervous going into that game last night. I was. I'm feeling much better now.
The vibes are high now.
The roller coaster of the NHL playoffs is insane. We had to sit on that for 2 days, which made that blowout loss feel way worse.
And then
we get rejuvenated with this win, and I'm all the way back.
Well, no, because you had to sit on that for 2 days, like that first loss. Then we had to sit on that first period.
So yes, important to remind the
very
folks,
uncomfortable seat.
The NBA is who we have to thank for that extra day off in between home games for the Florida Panthers.
All that extra time, and they still can't have proper ice.
Yeah,
I heard that it's freezing in there. That's what Liam and PM were saying.
Well, it sure ain't freezing the ice.
Interesting.
The humidity.
The
humidity hit yesterday.
Florida humidity hits different.
Yeah, I've never been to Florida.
It's
well, before we get into too far into talking Game 4, we should do our contractual obligations, and we are going to do the first thing, which is our delicious debate, which is brought to you by our friends over at Oodle Noodle.
And Oodle Noodle on game days, they got their game day promo going on right now. 2 signature boxes, 2 spring rolls. Forget this, $29.97. Can you tell the man that runs Oodle Noodle also runs Oilers Nation? It's game day. You don't want to cook. Everything 6 p.m. puck drop comes fast on a game day.
No kidding.
You got no time to cook. You got to get out of work early. Do yourself a favor. Download the Oodle Noodle app today, where if you sign up, you could even get 1,500 customer loyalty rewards points and take advantage of that beautiful game day promo. Shout out 29, shout out 97, shout out Oodle Noodle.
And that's why I have Aaron doing the ad reads. Well done, Aaron.
They're on all my shows.
I know.
Our delicious debate is going to be, I think, a simple one, but it's going to be top of mind for Oiler fans now that we've seen STuart SKinner, unfortunately, get pulled during Game 4 as well as Game 3. Who do you guys start come Game number 5? Is it STuart SKinner or is it Calvin Pickard? Waz? I'll give you the floor first.
I'm going to go with Calvin Pickard because I feel like the Oilers tend to play with a different aura, bravado whenever he's in the crease. They seem a little bit more structured. I don't know what it is, but they seem to play a little bit better in front of Calvin Pickard. And, the goals last night, I'm not pinning all of them on STuart SKinner. I thought the first goal was...
You're pinning some of them on him?
No, I honestly, not all of them. And maybe one of the goals he could have saved.
Which one?
I don't know, just a save. That's all I'm asking for. It doesn't matter which goal I went in. Just save one of them. That's all I'm asking for.
Which one then?
The second or third goal. How about that? I'm not picking or choosing here. The first goal was a good placement by Tkachuk. I'll give him credit there. That was a very good sneaky shot. But
so that second one by Tkachuk is stoppable?
I don't know. STuart's wasn't that the rebound?
Yeah, at the side of the
my mind's a little fuzzy, but the third,
So Waz, you're talking more of a vibes move here, but do you feel like that the pull of Skinner was more of a vibe pull than perhaps Skinner's performance was allowing?
Probably, I would say so. Just kind of get the juices flowing, just kind of restart, refresh.
Okay.
So-
Okay. Kennedy, what about you? Who are you starting in game number
Stu,
5?
You don't give up on your number one man. He stood on his head this entire playoffs, honestly, and the hate that he gets is unreal.
I mean, I would disagree with. I don't know. He's not stood on his head all playoffs.
Waz, you had your moment. Go ahead, Kennedy.
Yeah, I think he has. You don't have shutouts like that, like back to back. I know, like he's supposed to be Mr. Game 4, whatever, but that's just unnecessary pressure on top of it. But when you have that many, you have 17 shots in the first period on you. I think that's unfair. So
That's a fair take.
yeah. So
Okay.
you need your backup to come in and do a backup and come in clutch like Big Pick did. So you know what? No, you're gonna start Stu again. He's gonna redeem himself. It's fine.
Back to the starter and STuart SKinner.
Oh, yeah.
I like it. So we got one pick for Pickard. We got one for Skinner. Rick, where are you going?
You ride the hot hand, you put Pickard back in net.
I like that. Thank you. Good move.
That has nothing to do with you.
Yeah,
Oh, wow. All
Why are
right.
you taking thanks
Shot in
for
the
it?
dark.
He's not
not
happy
dark
to be
in
on your team, Waz.
Hey.
But
No,
that's
no.
two
Look,
votes.
Self-look,
you
Rick,
have,
okay.
you're riding the hot hand right now. You don't necessarily have a starter and a backup right now. You have more of a 1A, a 1B situation. You ride the hot hand. Who's your hot hand right now?
It's fair, and you're afforded a little bit of leeway just because we did end up winning that game. So the series is tied 2-2. It is a 3-game series. If things go bad for whatever goalie we put in, it's not necessarily
It's not
end
necessarily
of the world,
both the goaltending. The team was garbage in the first period.
Yep.
It could have been Patrick Waugh in that. You could put Marty Brodeur in that. It's never really going to change anything. The team was not playing very well in the first. And if it takes a pull to get this team going, that's not a really good thing. Maybe it wasn't the pull. Maybe it was the Corey Perry leaning into everybody in the first intermission. So maybe it wasn't the goalie pull. Maybe it was Corey Perry. Let's get this team playing properly from the first puck drop till the end, and you'll be fine. It really don't matter which goalie's in net.
I like it. Aaron?
So a couple things first. A, Waz must not have proper vision if he's saying STuart SKinner has never stood on his head. The hell are we talking about?
I'm not saying
he had
not
multiple
all
shutouts in the
playoffs.
playoffs.
Not all playoffs.
We'll
Nice.
leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. Then for me, I'll start it off with, I think that the STuart SKinner pull, that was a vibes pull. Because I think you could argue in the first period, STuart SKinner was the first star. He had multiple huge saves there and a couple of them against on the power play. Then you have the Troy Stetcher turnover behind the net, backbreaker in the final minute of the third.
Hold on. Mention the rest of that play that did not get called.
Yeah, I will also say Troy Stetcher turned that puck over well before he got hit in the face.
However,
Now,
it
still would have been. But Rick, we're not living in that world. We didn't get the call, so whatever.
We'll wait till we get to the
Skinner gets
Bouchard
beat.
one.
He gets beat by Lundell. I agree with Nobby's decision there because I think it was a vibes pull. It was a message to the rest of the team. Tyler, like what Waz said, has been kind of all year saying that the Oilers play better in front of Calvin Pickard. I don't know if I fully buy into that. I think that would be kind of what you just like the guy more. You're more willing to lay in front of shots. I don't think athletes' brains compute like that in the moment. But at this point, facts are facts. Calvin Pickard is 7-0, has yet to lose a game in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I'm a what have you done for me lately kind of guy. Stu, we love you. We appreciate you. Calvin Pickard looks pretty dialed in right now, and you can tell with Stu sometimes, first couple minutes, whether or not he's going to have it. I thought he did have it there in game 4, but we saw it in game 3. He was rattled, didn't have it. Calvin Pickard has really given me no reason to not go with him yet, so I go with him. And I like, Dan, what you added as well. God forbid, knock on wood, game 5 doesn't go the way you want with picks in net. You can go back to STuart SKinner. DJ Bean was on ONE today, and he goes, yeah, but can you go back to STuart SKinner after him in that moment?
Yes.
I say, yeah, you can. It's the cup final. He'll be ready to go. And STuart SKinner has a proven track record of being benched, coming back in, and playing just fine. So I think the move is Calvin Pickard. However, whatever Nobby decides to do, we're rolling with because he's the king of adjustments, and everything he's touching right now is turning into goal.
But this is more about the team in front of the goaltender than the goaltender itself.
Yes, I would agree 1,000%. That first period Oilers effort was
a bit
Well,
long.
execution was not
They had
there.
one shot over how many
Effort's
minutes?
I don't
bad.
like
Good
using
call,
that for
good
the
call,
execution is the word you want to use in
I
this.
sing the exact same tune that I feel like I've been singing all along, which is nice. I like to feel like I'm consistent in something. And for me, this team has never been about the highs of goaltending or the lows of goaltending being the indicator of the goalie's efforts. It's all about the team in front of them and how well they are playing in the other team's end and how much they're playing in that end. And that first period was an absolute onslaught of non-stop chances, grade A opportunities for the Florida Panthers.
But we weren't very good.
And we were just bad
We
all
were
over.
not very good.
We couldn't get out of our own end. We couldn't sustain any pressure. Outside of the top guys, they were getting a little bit going, but none of our depth guys had any pop whatsoever, no sustained pressure in the other end. And I've said it time and time again, it doesn't matter if you have Calvin Pickard in the net. It doesn't matter if you have STuart SKinner in the net. It doesn't matter if you have Patrick Waugh in his prime in the net. If you're consistently allowing grade A opportunities onto your goalie for sustained periods of time, 16 and 17 minute periods of time, you can't have any goaltender be successful in those parameters. Yes, maybe sometimes they do, but you can't demand it of them every time. It sucks for Skinner that his game 4 numbers now kind of plummet there. I
Still 6-0.
I really do think, yes, he
Hell
is
yeah,
still
he
6-0. I do think you go back to Skinner in this moment. You give him that opportunity to be able to respond just like the team did to a Corey Perry speech and just like the team did to its performance in that first period. And hopefully in game 5, the Oilers don't come out and shoot themselves in the foot 5 and 6 times with dumb penalties that then allow the Panthers to be able to come in and establish that offensive time that is what sunk the Oilers. So anyways.
I got another debate to add on.
Yes.
I'm curious, Rick, your thoughts.
Hmm.
Is Evander Kane becoming a liability to the Edmonton Oilers right now? Because this is 3 games in a row. He has taken a stick infraction penalty in some of the worst situations possible. Nobby benched his ass yesterday in the first period.
That's fine.
Then demoted him to the 4th line. I do think that's like Kane. That's his best
Accountability.
attribute is he gets sucked into the shit. That's his game. But I do think Evander Kane's got a little too sucked into it so far, 4 games into the series. But where do you come out on Evander Kane? Keep your stick down.
Yeah, I think last night's one was a little bit weird too because there was a follow through of a shot, and when the stick came up, that's what knocks Kane's stick even higher into the face. So I really don't know what the penalty there is. Like I don't like if you have a follow through, it's not a high stick. If you have a follow through that knocks a guy's stick into your own face, I'd have to talk to a ref about that one. I don't really know. Game 3 is what game 3 was. I wish he took a little bit more flesh in that one. It's trying too hard. It's trying too hard and getting a little out of your skates. And all you need to do is calm down.
I feel he's trying to prove a point that I'm not going to back down. He's a little too focused on proving that one point.
Yeah, and they're like forechecking penalties, right? So he's out there, he's
200 feet
forechecking
away from your net.
Yeah, but he's out there creating an issue. That's just when the guy starts to get away from you, you got to let him go a bit. Next time, go in there and bang the body right away. You won't have that issue. Sure. Go take the body.
Yeah, I feel like after the game last night, I felt like I was just wanting more out of Kane, and I don't know if that's necessarily fair to him so much as like
his offense is dripped a bit.
I think that's where I'm leaning.
All of our
but even then, that's exactly it. It's not just him, but for him, for Nurse, for Ekholm, all the penalties that we took in that first period, they're all avoidable to me. And you have to know the opponent that you're playing. And I agree with you, Rick. Like having your stick in there and getting hit by the Panthers' stick is unfortunate. But
so I would like to know,
expected.
Yeah, well,
it should be expected. The Panthers players are going to take any opportunity.
Yeah, but he didn't do that on purpose. It was just a follow through.
Yeah.
It's just the momentum of hockey. So again, I would like to speak to a referee about that and know the exact rules and whatever. They're just getting a little overexcited right now, and when Hyman goes down, a guy like Kane looks in the mirror and goes, shit, I have to do a little bit more now, because there's different levels of scoring, right? You got 29 and 97 on their own, and then the next shelf is Hyman, it's Nuge, and it's Kane.
Mm-hmm.
When you lose one of them, the other two they're gonna sit there and go, shit, it's now on me to do a little bit more. Just go out there and play your game, do your stuff, and everyone else will kind of like sift down and it'll take care of itself. Just stay within your own self right now. You got a little excited.
Kennedy, Evander Kane thoughts?
You have to step up when you have somebody like Zach Hyman out. And then Nuge is not 100% either. Even I notice Connor Brown laboring a little bit more. So when you're taking down penalties like that, you're just hindering everybody else's flow.
Yep.
So I don't know. Step it up. Fix it.
Was any closing thoughts on Evander Kane's performance in Game 4?
I think he's been pretty solid throughout the playoffs, but recently the penalties have been kind of biting him and the team in the ass. So he's got to stay a little disciplined and try to keep his stick on the ice, keep it kind of simple, and just kind of try crashing it, almost like Zach Hyman. Try to take a page out of his book if you can. I know Kane plays a little bit of a different style, a little bit more physical, and you kind of need that in the playoffs. But right now, it's just been hindering the team, especially in that, Game 3 especially. We saw, things get a little bit out of hand as we saw, but also, I mean, to Rick's point, you also have the likes of Corey Perry who are on that shelf who can score goals too, and it's been nice to see him get in the back of the net. And Vasily Podkolzin scoring too,
dog,
exactly,
dog.
Right? So this team has a lot of players who can find the back of the net, just need it a little bit more consistently right now, especially when 97's not finding the back of the net. We need that guy getting goals.
Okay, Stephen Smith.
I like it.
They were talking about this on the thing last night. He's got 5 assists in 3 games. It's almost 2 points per game, and they still want to sit there and say you need more. Be nice.
No,
you're incorrect. You're incorrect.
Go on.
Sure, you'd like another goal or 2 out of him, but he's putting up 5 assists in 3 games. And then that 1 assist to Leon.
That's worth 3 points right there.
Thank you.
You're not wrong.
If you're going to talk about this, you got to drop 97 from here.
But in the same breath, he almost scored an insane goal last night where he put, I think, Aaron Ekblad on his ass. That was beautiful. Like, I know it wasn't a goal, but that's what 97 can do for you.
For people who don't know what we're talking about, Stephen A. Smith specifically, talking head of American sports media.
Dude, I guarantee has watched no more than
exactly.
whatever ESPN shows in terms of highlights in the morning. The guy, stick to your lane.
I said I went off yesterday on pre-gaming, and I hated that I spent this much breath on it because Stephen A., this is exactly what he wants.
Yes.
But the fact that he made PK Subban the smartest man in the room says enough right there, and I'll leave it at that.
I think I will say in defense, I feel like I have to defend.
I'll cut your mouth
in this situation. For us to expect national broadcasters
then just don't talk
to be able to cover. Agree. Yeah. That's where I agree.
And Stephen A. has said outwardly, I don't know puck.
Yes.
So stay in your lane.
To give him that credit, yes.
Is it like just basketball brain because it's a sport where the star man takes over?
Well, I said it yesterday on the show. Yes, I think it's more the NBA, your star players. You're like,
can win you a championship.
In 25 to 30 points per game. A quarterback touches the ball every single play.
Yeah.
Hockey is a team game. I don't think, can't believe I have to explain that to Stephen A. Smith, but it's different in the NHL. But you're also just egregious for saying that about Connor McDavid.
That's crazy.
It's insane.
It's a lot to try and take in. Well, there's a good, delicious debate that kind of takes over.
There's 3 of them
first quarter of the episode. Thanks again to Oodle Noodle for sponsoring that segment. And this kind of leads me into my next talking point that I wanted to give everybody an opportunity to discuss is just what was your biggest takeaway from Game 4 that either has you giving some pause or has given you some hope leading into Game 5. Kennedy, you go ahead and lead us off.
The Oilers love a storyline.
Yes.
Saying it. They love the dramatics of it all, even though that they should be cleaning it up and, it shouldn't be this tight. But I don't know.
Taylor Swift is an Oilers good luck charm.
Yeah.
Good storyline.
It also makes live betting the comeback so much fun.
Oh, I know.
Profitable.
You had the whole storyline of it all of Taylor Swift being in the building and stuff. But then I don't know. They like to almost preach in a way of showing their resilience. They haven't done this since it's been 100. I don't know what the stat is, but this has never happened where they've come back.
106 years, I think.
106 years, right?
Yeah.
I think I saw that tweet. Yeah.
1919 was the last time a road team came back from 3-0 in the game and won the game.
That's crazy work.
That's 106.
There you go.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Quick math. Eat that, Tyler. I like that one. Waz, what was your biggest takeaway? Hopeful or something that's got a little bit of dread for
it
you?
was another reminder that this team is more than 29 and 97. As many, a lot of the fair weather fans look at the Edmonton Oilers, they see Draisaitl, McDavid, and that's it. But last night you're getting goals from Darnell Nurse, Jake Wallman, Vasily Podkolzin. I believe it was Kapanen who set up Wallman to get that 4th goal. So you have a lot of different other players contributing at different times, and Corey Perry also getting in the mix. The guy's 40 years old, scoring in the Stanley Cup final for was that 2nd goal of the series so far. And of course, when it comes to overtime, Leon Draisaitl has been the guy has the clutch gene. The clutch gene, man. Leon, the last couple of years, Draisaitl has been he hasn't had those moments yet.
He's been hurt
as well. But 2022, we had McDavid getting the OT winners against LA, Calgary. 2023, it's a write-off. We're not going to talk about that. Last year, Draisaitl also didn't get like a clutch moment because he
didn't score in the finals.
Yeah, exactly, because he was pretty banged up.
Yeah, but he didn't have an overtime winner either, and he has 4 this year.
Now he has 4 overtime goals, which is
Crazy.
the NHL record, which is crazy to think that no other player has scored 4 overtime goals in the playoffs. I mean, it's a testament to the Oilers for always finding
in a single playoff.
Yeah, in a single playoffs. I mean, the 80s Oilers never did that, but they were just blowing out teams for fun, right? This team they don't give up unless Game 3, I think, was just an anomaly. Let's just put that way.
Wow. Okay, Rick, what was your biggest takeaway from Game 4?
When they stick to their game plan, they're the better team and they'll win this. You play their game, now it's 50-50. Play your game the way you do it, like we did in the second period, it'll be over on Tuesday.
Yep. And they were basically playing with 5 defensemen in Game 4 because Troy Stecher had like 4 minutes of ice time.
Can you leave some takeaways for the rest of us?
Come
on.
Pal.
Aaron? No, Aaron, you go ahead.
Oh.
For me, I'm going to go with it kind of adds on to Waz's, but my Game 4 takeaway is the depth showed up. The depth might be back. We all know it for 3 rounds. What got the Oilers through? The Kings, the Golden Knights, and the Stars quite, I don't want to say easily, but handedly, I will say that they were able to get them done in 5 and 6, was the Oilers leaned on their depth. They were getting depth production from guys like Connor Brown. You had your captain in big goals. Corey Perry, you continue to talk about. But for 3 games of the Cup final, the depth players were a little bit invisible. That third line specifically in Game 4, Jeff Skinner, Rico, Freddie, while those guys didn't even get on the score sheet, I thought they were awesome, and they had some really good zone time generating chances. But then, like Waz says, Jake Wallman goal. Pod Colson scores a goal. One, he can hit the net there in front of it that close with a backhander. Darnell Nurse scores. And yeah, you still got a Nuge power play goal. You still got Leon in overtime. When you need your big dogs to be the big dogs, they're going to do it. But this is a full team through and through, 18-man units. And I think we saw that in Game 4. Hopefully that can continue to roll along. We know Navi, the king of adjustments. That's why his record is so good in Games 4 to 7. Looking to see if the depth can continue to pick that up as we roll along. Best of 3 series in Alberta. Let's go.
I like it. My big takeaway from this one is that the Oilers were able to snap out of it. I think that leading into this series, feel like the Florida Panthers play mental mind games better than anybody in the playoffs. We're probably second best there, but really feel like they were able to drag us down in Game 3, and they had us out of our games, out of sorts. They were deep in our kitchens, and then you saw that carry on into period 1 of Game 4. You got Panthers players following us, giving us the ear, and in that period 2, the Oilers snapped out of it. When I saw Jeff Skinner grab Dmitry Kulikov and give him a pat on the shoulder and say thanks for the help there, I absolutely roared laughing, and it just felt like something had switched. Something had turned back towards the Oilers' way, and it was reaffirmed for me after the game. If you have an opportunity, go back and find Matthew Tkachuk's comments after the game. He is a man dejected, and he is a guy that I think understands the power of a press conference and understands the power of showing up and just saying the right things.
Dude can't play right now.
And he is hurt, and he is hurting. And I think that Florida Panthers team went into the locker room at the end of that first period feeling pretty dang good about themselves, and then certainly were feeling comfortable and confident when they had tied that game up late, because that building was raucous again and finally awake. But the Edmonton Oilers were able to snap out of it, and like Rick said, played their game, won the hockey game. We are not talking about being down 3-1 to these same Florida Panthers that we were down 3-0 to last year. Instead, it is a best of 3 series. The Oilers have momentum back on their side. We are back, baby.
I got a fun fact for you. I looked this up yesterday. So in the history of the NHL playoffs, in best of 7 series, when a series has been tied 2-2, in the history of all best of 7 series, there's been 600 of them. The record, 300-300 for the home and road team. It is truly a coin flip here, but we got home ice advantage. Let's go.
We're one too many men on the ice call from being up 3-1.
Yeah, we also had games 1 and 2 in overtime. You could easily have been down.
No, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
You can play that game all you want.
But like in game 2, there was the obvious too many men on the ice right by him. All 4 officials can call that, by the way. no call there. You actually could have fucking won that game. You'd be up 3-1 right now. Like, this team has to be confident in what they're doing right now.
Yeah,
And just because you get into overtime doesn't mean you don't lose anything out of it.
The refereeing has become such a narrative that
It's terrible.
It's driving me wild. I know that we, as Oiler fans, have a bit of a.
This has nothing to do with that.
We get a moniker slapped on us. So
Three dudes right there in front
how
of
dare
us.
us, and how dare we be able to give some actual assessment about this?
Are they doing anything about the Bouchard hit? Have you seen anything online?
So.
No, I don't think so.
insane.
No.
That was the
They're
jump
not going
from-
to do anything about a hit from behind.
I call that
paralyzed.
the Panther pounce. That's
Till
the
someone's
Panther
paralyzed.
pounce.
The first time they do something about a hit from behind will be when someone's paralyzed.
That was interesting. I got first. I'm like, was he leaving the ice there as well? Like,
You know,
there's a
It's one of those things too, like in the Dallas series,
Right in the numbers.
when Nurse takes down I saw him and then now I blanked on his name, takes down their centerman
Rupe?
Rupe
Rupe
in the ice there, and then all the things that happened after that, the Zach Hyman hit and injury, all that stuff, I just kind of was, I shrugged it off as that's playoff hockey, baby, and that's the way it goes.
Inept officiating.
But for me, like it's tough to be a fair and honest fan and not feel like you're complaining a little bit. I think that every penalty last night was for the Oilers that was called was a fair penalty to call. But you can't then turn around and tell me you can't find something from these same Florida Panthers.
It's not even finding.
be
It's
able
just
to do
calling
it.
what happens. Call it on the ice. Call it on the
Yeah,
ice, please.
and
That's
so-
all we're asking.
So
Troy
it's-
Stetcher takes a stick directly between the eyeballs. There is an official right there. It is almost impossible not to see that.
Yeah.
Call what is on the ice. Enough game management.
Well, it's funny seeing Jake Wallman getting fined like $10,000 for what he did, and you're
Water
telling me,
The water bottle?
you're telling
Also,
me,
where was his glove?
AJ
Exactly,
Greer
right,
stole
that's what I'm
glove.
saying,
like,
Ain't
you're
nobody
telling me
wanted
the-
to talk
where
about
was
it.
Florida
his
Panthers
glove?
did nothing wrong, and both teams
You steal a
were.
man's glove, you're getting some water sprayed
You're
on
gonna
your face. That's fair game.
The amount of crying that came out after that game, like all the violence, oh my goodness. If you guys watched the Red Wings versus the Avalanche in the mid-90s in the playoffs, you would have been left in like just the fetal position in your emotions. Like, that was hockey.
I did love the people that
Embarrassing these
were trying
whiners.
to create the narrative. I saw it throughout
So
Hockey
much
Fights
violence.
pages of
Good
the
Lord.
Oilers.
I know.
Oh, no
of the
shit.
Oilers gooning it up. Like, that is not what gooning it up
Oh, I
means.
saw
I
somebody.
wanted them to
I
do it up in
wish-
game
I
3.
wish it was. I really do.
Nobody
and-
dropped a glove to punch
I'm-
Kachuk in the mouth.
And I'm willing to take
Shoulda.
on the Neanderthal mantra, but that was insanely exciting as a person that runs hockeyfights.com, but at the same time,
A
it was
terrible
not enough.
tease.
Not enough.
You didn't get one fight out of it,
Not
did you?
enough. Yeah, we got the Darnell Nurse. Darnell Nurse.
That was a
and-
lengthy
Fought for like
tilt.
a minute.
and Gadjevich fight.
Oh, yeah,
was-
okay, you got the one fight. But
But-
out of that, you should have had 5 or 6. You
The-
should have been working all night.
The
clipping.
entire
You know what I
entire
mean?
playoffs, I work every single night. I am on, if there's an NHL game going on, I am watching the games. And too often this entire playoff run, and it's not the Edmonton Oilers, obviously, being the only team that has 2 fights in this entire playoff run. Too often it is glove on scrums, guys punching each other with their gloves on, and then you get the people crying that that's gooning it up.
Yeah,
No. The days of, like Rick said, of guys going out and having a fight, and then they get off the ice, and then the next line comes up and they have a fight, and then they come off the ice, and the next line comes up and they have a fight. That's gooning it up. That is guys going out and doing that. In 1992, they
Like 6.
instituted the instigator rule.
Oh, okay.
And ever since then, you have not been able to do the exact same level of gooning it up. It's just not possible.
Some
so
of the-
insane for people to try and
some of
create
the
that narrative.
reactions to that game 3 were interesting from like a neutral perspective. 'Cause I saw somebody saying like, "This is a terrible look for the NHL and for new viewers." What? This is everything you want in a hockey game. You have fights. You have
If you don't know what you're
physicality.
watching, then go
Exactly.
away.
You had goals. Like, that was a great hockey game. If I was a neutral, not an Oilers fan, I'd be loving that game 3. But I saw some Blackhawks writer out of all go cover the draft first of all. Go ahead,
Nice.
Connor Bedard. Like, buddy, stay in your lane. Like, I don't know how is that a bad look for the NHL? That's what you want in a hockey game.
Well, I saw some tweets too that were like people being like the Oilers are so
Classless
pissed
or
and
like
annoying. There's
this-
just
This
spiteful.
is embarrassing. I'm
Yeah.
like, how is this embarrassing?
It's hockey.
Exactly.
What are we
It's
doing?
entertainment. This is not soccer
Hey,
where you're winning.
don't hate the player, hate the game. All right,
Sorry.
there it is.
I'm a big soccer guy, but like I don't want to watch a chess match. It's 2-2 and you're waiting for a goal until the last minute. I
want to see some action.
Shout out Magnus Carlsen, though.
punch someone in the face, please.
It's
know
enough
that
of the social media world that we live in now, where people are not at the games often do have to have their opinion about everything that's going on the ice.
They're
And
not
I
real
understand
fans.
it, respect that, but you look around the stands and to
Not
a
one person left.
not a single
No
person.
one covered their eyes.
And in fact, hockeyfights.com found a young 9-year-old Sophia fan that was more excited about the fighting than she was about the actual game going on. And credit to Kennedy for hooking her up with some Hockey Fights merch. It's coming her way.
I also want to say, being at Greta, watching Dan be in his bag
Yes.
in the moment, so we're getting blown out of the water in game 3 right there. Then the madness goes down. You got Gadjevich scrapping with Nurse. We're all freaking out, staring at the big projector. Oh my God, beat his ass, beat his ass. I casually turn to my left. Dan has already ripped out his laptop.
Yep.
He's face into it, going to town, tracking that fight, doing his stuff. The man was quick
You're
on the
balancing
trigger.
your
He
laptop
was
on.
foaming at the mouth for a hockey fight, and he got one.
It's
That was a lot of viral moments in that game because like they had the woman dumping the beer on captain.
Yep.
That was wild.
yeah.
There's your class.
Yeah, there you go.
It's
There's
a
bad
life.
apples everywhere.
Yeah,
There's bad
exactly.
apples
That's
everywhere.
It's a
100%.
life having to carry around the laptop everywhere. I was excited to have that ready to go, but yeah, it was a chaotic game for sure. And yeah, I don't even think we need to give her any kind of limelight other than that behavior is outrageous.
Should
and
be
silly.
banned from the arena for 1 year.
Agreed, at least. But shifting gears, we can move on to a segment that Bag Milk loves, and we didn't do any homework for, and so we're going to be able to just create our own, is Ask the Idiots, which is brought to you by our friends at Odd Company. Aaron?
Yeah, they got their Nation Beer Everyday Lager. Perfect for game day. Perfect for every day, if you ask me. I am proud to report I have gone through 4 flats of Odd Company Nation Beer, 1 for each round. The weird part is I don't watch any games at home, so I'm just crushing these beers on my own on off days.
Nice.
But the point being, they go down so smoothly.
Delicious.
They are so delicious. You can pick them up 2 Odd Company locations in the Edmonton area, Ritchie or downtown, or simply just log on to liquorconnect.com. Find out which local liquor stores are carrying these bad boys. And take my word for it. They are smooth. They are delicious. They are spectacular.
Thank you to Odd Company for sponsoring this segment. As I mentioned, I did no prep work in the sense that typically you send Bag Milk your questions and then he reads them out to us and we've never read them. Waz was kind enough to go out on social media and put a call out for a couple of questions. So we haven't seen these. Waz has seen them, but we don't even know what they are. So Waz, do you have any answers to the Ask the Idiots segment?
Yeah, we got a couple here, not a ton because this is kind of last minute, but we have one from Landon who asks if you could have one Oilers practice, or if you could have one Oilers player practice a hockey skill with one Oiler, who would it be with, and what are you practicing?
Kennedy, go.
Oh, good God.
Come on.
I know, like I know. I was like Leon, obviously.
Yeah.
I would love to learn how he does his one-timers, just to practice. Like I would be terrible at it, but I would love just to see like his thought process behind it and how he does it all.
There you go.
Just
I like
because it's so thin of how much space he gets.
I'm sorry to put you on the spot like that.
No, that's
so
okay.
quickly, but
There was an obvious
Somebody
answer
had to
there.
go first.
and I figured you were going to have an
There
answer.
was an obvious answer.
Yeah, Rick?
Let's be real.
What is your what Oiler player would you? Is this it? Would you have teach you a skill?
Yes.
There you go.
Who says they have more skill than I do?
Wow.
Jesus.
Everybody. The answer's everybody.
Oh, Rick right here.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Nobody answered fast enough. It's everybody. You know, there's a lost art in the NHL. I don't know if he's a lost art. It's one that's never really been perfected by very many. Wayne was very good at it. Leon's probably the best at it, but it's the backhand pass.
Oh, yeah.
It's what you can do with the backhand. And I say that because if you watch a video for, I think it was put out today, Pods was actually working on his backhand, I believe, with Leon, and then bang,
That's actually where
used it in the game
question came from.
and a goal. So Let's work on the backhand because you get that, you're like a left-handed pitcher at this point.
2 Leon Draisaitl
Free
choices
money
so far. For those of you keeping track at home, Aaron, which Oiler are you choosing for skills?
So thank you to Kennedy for going first and giving me time to think. That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
I got
First
you.
option, you go Connor McDavid's footwork. Then I go back to Leon Draisaitl telling the entire world you can't learn the things that he does.
Yeah.
So I'm not even going to
97 can't
attempt.
teach you anything.
I was going to say Leon's backhander, but I'll give you a wild card answer. That's totally on brand for Boardsy. I want to know what Brett Kulak does away from the rink and how that man has yet to miss an NHL game for the Edmonton Oilers. He plays consistently either side of the ice, whatever pairing you want. He's healthy, knock on wood, for every game he's played as an Edmonton Oilers so far. What is his routine away from the rink?
Nice.
So I feel like a couple
Good
guys,
ball.
couple of athletes in general, multiple sports can take a page out of Brett Kulak's book.
I
There's
like
my
it.
wild card.
That's a
answer.
good
That's a good
one.
one.
That's a good answer.
That's a great
Good
one,
answer.
actually.
That's the Family Feud. Good answer.
Yeah, good
answer,
answer.
Aaron. Yay. My answer, I'm going to steal it before you, is going to be Calvin Pickard. Just because I learned how to skate so late in life, I feel like the only position that I might be able to do is goalie. And after listening to Calvin Pickard trash talk, Vanacek last night, or not have any trash talk for him, I feel like he's just going to be a really nice guy to me, even if I'm really bad at it. He'll kind of just ease me into
He'll
it. So
nurture
Calvin
you.
Pickard, yes.
He hit
So just
8
teach me
goals,
how to be a
pumped
goalie.
Bastion. He's like, you're doing great. Dan."
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know what?
exactly.
He's like, I don't have anything bad I can say about
But
you, man.
the
Are you having fun?
his ability to come in cold
Yes.
is incredible.
That's true. Yeah, that's also true. Maybe it helps me
Stuart
with
Skinner's mental fortitude that
Which
he can
is-
deal with all
which is
the bullshit.
mind-boggling.
Yep.
How strong, like that dude is.
If you're sending death
He's
threats,
different.
you're a piece of shit. There, I say.
Yeah, retweet.
Yes.
Yeah, that's-
Yes, we don't have to dwell on it too much because we do not want to give those people the time of day and the air that they so do
205.
not breathe or deserve to breathe. Jeez, they so do not deserve to breathe. But yes, if you are taking anything that a hockey team does on the ice
Sports,
and making it about real life,
any sport.
there's something wrong with you.
Mhm.
Waz, who's your player for and skill?
Yeah, I need Connor McDavid to show me how to skate. Just like the fundamentals would be great. Because I kind of look like Bambi on skates. If you ever seen me, like during.
Oh, I've seen you on skates.
The video when I tried out for the ON.
Didn't you not tie your skates once or something?
I can't really tie them properly. That's for sure.
That makes
So maybe
zero
teach me
sense.
that as well.
What?
But
Like,
I-
your shoes seem
He has a-
fine.
he
What
has
is
a
the
theory
difference?
of tying.
Skates are different, man. Like you gotta like do like triple knots and shit.
You
like,
do not need to do triple knots.
I don't know,
You do
man.
that with your shoes on your skates, you'll be
There's
way
more
better.
laces with skates.
There's only one lace.
Are you sure?
100%.
I feel like it's bulkier.
Yeah, there's
It's healthy.
only one.
You know
Yeah,
what?
you need Connor McDavid.
But, yeah,
You're
maybe-
right.
Well,
well,
yeah,
McDavid's
Somebody
You
get him on
might
the
need more
phone.
than
Buddy,
Connor McDavid.
knowing him, he's gonna lose his shit on me. It's like, dig the fuck in. I'm like, okay, Connor. Jesus.
And that's just tying up the skates.
Connor
You haven't
McDavid
even hit the
and
ice yet.
Connor McDavid and Waz in a room together for like an hour would just be cinema.
If I'm gonna ask Connor McDavid anything, is I'm gonna ask him why he uses sweet potatoes as a condiment on pasta.
There you
Doesn't
go.
like ketchup.
Waz, do you
You,
have-
wait. What?
So
Yeah, he's-
McDavid a
Yeah.
couple weeks ago. Sorry, can I?
I'll do it, Waz. I'll
Buddy.
do it. Did you check the video out, Aaron? A couple days ago, actually, it was before Tuesday's episode. Leon and Connor did kind of a couples
They did a
newlywed game version for
I
themselves
did not
as
see
teammates.
this. I gotta
Now
watch
you
it.
go ahead. Now you go ahead and do the sweet
I'll
potato
find you.
thing.
Anyways, Draisaitl said something that McDavid likes to use sweet potatoes as like a condiment on his pasta.
How
does
is
that-
potato a condiment?
So it
You
turns
scoop
out
out,
Leon
you
There's
scoop
no
out
consequence.
the, you
He doesn't
scoop
like
out the
condiments.
innards, you whip them up really well, and you thin them out with some sort of cream or butter type
There
of
we
thing,
go.
and
Okay,
then you
that
get to
makes
put it on
Still,
top.
that's just like insane.
I was like,
I
he's
have-
just putting yam fries in his pasta?
See, and I want to ask the
Kinda
food
sick.
question. I want to ask the food question of Connor. How do you dress your hot dogs if you don't like condiments? Because I know
Sometimes
he
hot
ain't
dogs
raw
don't need
dogging it.
condiments, bro.
Relish?
A dry
Yes.
hot dog?
Liam Horvath
No.
says this all the
If I'm being
time.
honest,
Foul.
Your butcher puts together a good dog.
No,
No.
Yeah, you're
Hot
getting bad
take?
dogs.
it needs sauce.
No.
Ketchup
Wrong.
is overrated.
It's
It
a
is.
meat tube. You
Yeah.
need to
Get
add a
hot
little
dogs from a
sauce.
butcher?
Yeah,
Good ones.
Gourmet hot
Yeah,
dog?
Schneider.
Get some smokies
Schneider's
going.
all
Yeah. Okay.
I
Well,
just
that
got
was a good
Costco.
Ask the Idiots. Waz, do you have any more questions for us?
Yeah, we got something regarding Jake Wallman from Devon who says, would you pay Wallman an 8x5 or 5x5? So 8 years by $5 million, given his performance in the playoffs.
Okay. Rick, do you have an answer to
He's
that?
29 years young.
29 years young, so probably not 8 years.
Yeah, no.
I'll go 5.
Yeah.
If you get him at 5.5, you're probably laughing. So yeah, 8's probably a little bit long for me though.
See, I'm sorry, I just threw it to you, Rick, because it's
good.
tough to do the numbers of contracts off the top of your head, and I think that.
Well, no, you look
8
at like a
years
$5 million defenseman, right? And you're like, he's probably going to bring you a little bit more than that. What's Ekholm's contract right now?
Ekholm's contract? I think
Yeah.
6.
Yeah, so it's going to be a little less than Ekholm's contract, which I think is fine. The 8 years for a 29-year-old is the scary part for me. I don't think
6.25.
Thank you. So you get at $750,000 less than what Ekholm's getting right now. I think that's fair price. 5 years is a nice distance for him. Takes him to 34. Give you that one more contract at the end of it. I probably don't want to take him to 37. That's probably a little hefty for me. So maybe if I had to bump it up to 6, I would do it because I think that he'll kind of take the Ekholm contract, and then Ekholm hopefully will take a little bit lesser contract. They'll almost swap contracts, hopefully.
I think I'm. No, I'll go to you, Aaron, first.
So
I'm
for me, 29 years young, because I might be that same exact age,
Old
but that's
man.
neither here nor there. So Wallman's currently getting paid $3.4 million. He's definitely due an upgrade. I am more than fine with $6 million, anything in that range. I would do 5 years. You worry about 8, because obviously, as you just did the math there, he'd be 37 years old. Those contracts don't work out. Also, though, the way Yanni Gord's new contract works, there's no way that dude's playing a full 8 years, and maybe
Is that
there's
the 8 years at 1.1 or something.
Workaround stuff there from
Yeah,
the
but he's
Lightning.
like he's the little contract, right? Like one,
Yeah.
it's like a
It's
1
like
point.
2.7 something for.
Yeah,
8
I think it might be
years.
lower than that, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's silly. But that's something where you can pretty much shove down to the
So
minors.
if we do that, I'm down for that.
Yeah,
But
you can shove that down to the minors and lose probably like 80% of the contract.
other than that, Jake Wallman, if he's at $6 million, whatever. Once again, I'm not a contract guy. That's a Ty Liam thing. You Chuck math. But with the way the salary cap is projected to go up, I am of the belief you lock up all your younger guys. 29, that's not young. Actually, yes, it is, because I'm 29. Yes, it
It's
is.
young.
But either way, point being, you want to lock these guys up to their AAVs that are lower right now, because I think the way we're looking at this, each and every year that salary cap is going to go up substantially. You want to pounce early on that.
It's predicted for the next 3 years.
Let me-
They have a baseline for like the next year is gonna be whatever, and then the fucking year after and the year after. They already have a fucking baseline for that, which is actually quite nice for these GMs who have been handcuffed for so long with the flat cap, right?
And I think it's important for people that are listening to this to understand that yes, that there is a lot of like question marks as to what that is going to do to this market. And so sometimes our numbers, they sound crazy. Go ahead, Aaron. What was that?
So next 25-26, the cap is $95.5 million. The next season, it's
What's it right now?
$104 million.
What's it right now?
That's not in front.
It's like 88 right now?
80 something.
Yeah, 88,
high
I think.
80s. So it goes 95.5 to 104 to 113.5 in 27-28. So right there, you're looking at $20 million going up in 3 years.
Yep.
Pounds.
So there is that to keep in mind for this, as well as for me. My thing with Wallman is that this is now team 3. Team 1 sent him off for not much
Unknown
and
reasons.
a song for unknown reasons. Team 2, I thought, had no reason not to sign him long term and have him be somebody that was going to, especially with the performance.
29-year-old guy whose contract's up right away for a young
Yeah.
team that wants to start building. You can see why you move on and just bring in the extra draft picks for him.
Yeah, I guess I could see that argument. I just there's still a question mark for me with Wallman.
What's the question mark?
Yeah, what is the question?
In the sense that we have in my mind we have 3 defensemen that are going for 2 spots, maybe 1 spot. You've got Klingberg, Wallman, and then Emberson.
The Klingberg and Emerson are both right-handed, and Wallman's a lefty. They're going to try to go lefty on lefty, righty on righty.
Well,
And then during the season, you can swap if you have a 7 and 8 guy. Then you can start doing kind of what we're doing right now. But I think when you go into the season, you're going to want to go 3 lefties, 3 righties.
because
Also, Jake Wallman is so above those other 2 dudes level.
Big
They're
time.
not even in the same stratosphere.
Yeah, but that's where the value. I think that you're not wrong in that he's going to pull in $6 million per, and that's where I start to
RFA
get worried.
still?
But
RFA still?
No, I believe UFA.
Is he a UFA at the end?
so
29
UFA.
probably should be. Yeah, yeah.
UFA.
So there's still a question mark for me, but that's why I've been kind of humming and hawing on my answer. Kennedy, do you have a thought or a take on contracts? Again, I know that this is tough to say because we aren't really operating. There's so many free agents to fall down. Like they're talking about Mitch Marner being the highest paid free agent of all time.
Like
next year
Draisaitl
now.
money, like
It's
coming
insane.
here.
It's crazy.
Insane.
The free agents this year are not good.
Agreed. But Kennedy, Wallman.
I honestly, whatever makes like the money work, honestly,
Yep.
and whatever's gonna help us win at the end of the day. I don't.
You're on Team Wallman.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Team Oilers.
Woz?
Oilers always.
What? Any more questions for us? Or sorry, yeah, I didn't. You didn't
Yeah,
get
I
your
mean,
answer.
to end it, I just say try and keep Wallman. I don't know the
Keep Wallman
you know,
forever.
the
says Woz.
salary, the contracts in the NHL. It's such a fluid situation. In the next couple of years, I don't know what it's going to look like. Maybe some players start taking lesser years compared to max contract 7-6. Like 5 years isn't the worst idea. 5 by 6 maybe. I could see that depending on how much money they have. I think they're going to want to keep him for a couple of years. Especially with Ty Emberson coming up in the next couple of years. The guy only has under 100 NHL games, right? So I think the Oilers have a decent core they can build around with Wallman and a few other players coming up. So keep him for, I would say, 5 years, because with 29, 5 years from now, 34, that's when your career kind of. I mean, not everyone has the same longevity as
Corey Perry's 40 and still scoring.
Yeah, I'm saying not everybody
Rick
has
and I
that
are
longevity.
past 34. Woz,
He's
what are you
also
trying
not
to
getting
say?
paid
Brent,
$6 million.
Burns just signed a contract yesterday to take him to 43 when it's done.
That's insane. But he's washed.
Woz, do you have any more Ask the Idiots questions for us?
Last one from Brett.
Holden.
No. But he says, do you take Kane out for game 5? He's had 3
No.
games in a row now
No.
with stick penalty in the first.
No.
No.
As much as I even have been calling him a liability here, your team does not get better if you take out Evander Kane, especially against the Florida Panthers.
You only have
Sometimes
one
you got to
option.
fight fire with fire.
You only have one option put into it'd be Arvidsson, and
I'm not doing that.
if I want goal scoring, I need a little more Kane than I do Arvidsson.
I think everything that Kane brings is a step above Victor Arvidsson.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll say yes. We take out Evander Kane. We put in Victor Arvidsson, and we just hope for the best. No, I think that Evander Kane is exactly what he needs to be, exactly what Zach Hyman was for this team, which was the pop.
He needs to
that
be
you
himself.
needed
He
with
plays his
the
own
goals.
game, which is a little bit different
Agreed.
than Hyman's. You want to get
Agreed.
that secondary score, cool. But
But-
just go play because when he is playing his game, he's unicorn-ish.
He's the X
Arguably,
factor. He is the
arguably,
X.
Hyman was playing Evander Kane's game because he wasn't putting the puck in the net.
Man,
That's
he was
where
Hyman was playing someone
out
out of the world, the
Yes.
world, man. Like he's 111 hits. He's still leading the
Yeah.
league and
Yes.
the playoffs and hits right now. I don't know what Hyman was doing. It's almost insane to ask anybody to play that physical when you're that offensively talented. Like I love it. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
It's fantastic, but I think he just went off in his own little unicorn trail.
Yeah,
Yep.
he really, Hyman's really changed his game, especially for this postseason. Because I was looking at the numbers, and last year, like in the finals, Hyman had like 15 goals in the playoffs last year, which is like, I think, the most by any active player.
I'm glad that they brought him with though. To
Yeah.
be like a guy
Yep,
in the
of course
Well,
he's
you
gonna
never,
go.
hey, you never know. You might need him on the ice for
Well,
some
of
celebrations.
Of course he's gonna go.
You say something?
Nope.
Okay. I got one more question that I came up with, just so I can selfishly brag anyways myself at the end. But you guys, everybody has them. Everybody might be a little bit
Nipples.
stitious,
Stitious.
but
It's nipples.
some people even might be superstitious. Was there anything you guys changed between games 3 and 4
Mhm.
that you need to now repeat for going into game 5?
I don't have a single superstition.
Smart. It's
I
good.
just-
Good decision to make. Yeah.
I say it all the time. Also, I was getting ripped on ONE chat today because we were talking about the possibility of a parade. And
Yeah.
everybody's yelling jinx and jinx. Like, I don't know if you know, I don't strap up the skates. I'm not actually out
Yeah.
there. I understand that people do have their things. I've never had one.
I
that
also
annoys me.
trying to tell people that have to talk about the team to
Yeah,
talk about,
whether
not
they-
talk
It's
about
impossible to
specific
not
things
jinx
about the
them
team.
most of
Whether
Yeah.
they like it or not, the Oilers have already figured this out.
It's
They've already dealt with it, and they are the actual team.
they've got
Like last
logistics.
year, it was well known that the game was on Monday, the parade was on Wednesday. You have to have the logistics figured out
It's true.
ahead of time.
Thank you.
Bureaucracy.
Just like some companies have Oilers Stanley Cup gear ready to go because logistics says you need to have them to go as soon as it's over.
Yeah, I want to puke.
And
when
you
I
can't
look at
make them
it.
fast
When
enough.
we get to the end of an Oilers game, Waz starts building out the final score graphic, and I see him. And
Yeah,
what are you
yeah,
gonna call
yeah.
that a jinx? No, he's got to be ready to post.
Exactly.
Exactly.
It's
Kennedy,
Sorry,
is there
the chat got in my head today.
I
any
just,
superstitions?
I just
that you
want to like
changed?
feel like I'm a part of it. That what I do has like effect on it. So
Mhm.
you know, little things like I took my car flags down between game 3 and 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it worked. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Fair
Thanks.
enough. Rick is the king of.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I'm
Let's
going to
bring
save you
up
to the
the-
end.
yeah.
Waz?
I think what I'm gonna change is watching.
No, Waz. Did you change anything between games 3 and 4?
Oh yeah, I watched the game at Greta. So
Oh.
for game 3,
Damn right
I
you
did the highlights from home, which
Got
I
it.
do, and I just kind of watch my family sometimes. But I think for
What a
Saturday,
crazy thought.
right, watching the game.
Must
with
be
the family.
nice to watch the
Braggart.
game on your couch.
Yeah, hey, I'm
Haven't
still
done that in
working.
2 months.
Still
Yeah,
working. Hey,
no.
shout out to you, man. You,
Actually, that's a lie. I was
No,
sick. I was sick for one.
He missed. I've never missed one yet.
that's
Aaron
crazy.
You'd
missed
have to pay me to sit on my couch to watch a playoff game.
You work in the
It was
environment.
nice when
It's-
about 6
I
weeks
could
in,
not.
I
I do
needed
not.
one.
I know,
I
I
do
know.
not want to be on my couch for the game. I do not want to be on by myself for the game.
Yeah.
That's the game you want to be surrounded with people and stuff.
Stone cold
Yes.
beers. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
King of routine, though, Rick. Is there anything you changed?
Yeah, go ahead.
Between
No.
Go through
game
the whole
3
thing.
and 4.
No.
Not a single thing.
Not a single thing.
You still had the same shirt.
Darn straight.
You had the 5 fingies before 5.
100%.
I saw a tweet.
I mean,
And the 6th
I-
fingy for.
they're like the no. There's 5 chicken fingers
Sorry,
representing the
sorry.
5 Stanley Cups, eaten between 5 and 6 because we're between cups 5 and 6. I posted it a little bit later. The picture was a little bit later, but that's not part of the superstition.
Okay.
So no, I didn't do anything. Like
There's nothing you're going to change for game 5
no.
or keep going.
No,
for
no,
game
and
5
if
that
you
changed.
do, you do like one little thing here. Like people want to change their whole system. Did we just flip our whole roster?
Well, I ran 6
Just
extra
adjust.
kilometers.
You
like an
make
idiot,
little
but-
tweaks.
Well, some
at the
people
very most.
will change their jerseys if that doesn't.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
I used to do that.
Yeah,
but-
because Peyton was wearing his Klingberg jersey for the first
Ah,
time.
there you go.
he
That's
wasn't even
wear it.
playing
I
last
wore a
game.
different hat.
Yeah.
Does he play
The
next
moment
game?
he bought that jersey, Klingberg is just plummeting.
Yeah,
like,
it's value.
Well,
I think he
don't
plays
the
next
players
game.
get messages like to their
I think
phone
he
when
played next
somebody
game.
buys their jersey?
That'd be crazy.
Yeah,
I thought that was the
Well,
case.
yeah, I mean,
Stetcher played
Stetch
what,
didn't do anything.
5,
so,
a
yeah.
lot less than 5 minutes. So we'll
And
see what
Nobby was
happens.
very
But yeah,
clear. He said it this morning at his media availability. He didn't play not because of the high stick.
yes,
It was performance based.
yes. So that says, welcome back, John.
Well,
There
in
you
terms
go.
of like talking about and thinking about a parade, it's hard not to think about.
Chat's gonna be pissed,
Yeah,
dude.
it's. I don't like. You talk about it and be like, you're jinxing the team. I'm like, no, I'm just confident in the team that it can happen. It's crazy belief, you know. I'm not worried that this team can win the Stanley Cup, and we have to think that way. Like,
It's the hope.
You
that'll
know
get
how many
lost.
bits I had prepared for Game 7 for After Dark had we won the Stanley
Yeah.
Cup?
Oh,
Yeah.
I wasn't jinxing
Yeah.
it. I had to stay frosty. Gotta stay
Exactly.
ready.
You have to
like
be ready.
our buddy Mistaken Mexican. Did you see that clip we put out of his? So he has his wedding on the day
Oh,
of a
that was
potential.
mistaken Mexican?
Yeah, he has his wedding
Oh
on the
my
day of
God.
a potential parade. I put the clip and I'm like, you're jinxing it. I'm like, I put potential for a reason. It may not happen, but it probably will happen. Go.
Go off.
Facts.
There you go.
off, Queen.
Yeah,
But yeah, what would you pick? A wedding, or
Slay queen.
your wedding, or a parade?
Parade.
Parade, dude.
That's-
Hey, dude.
People
Or
get
you
married.
somehow
People get
combine
married more than once in their lifetime. Sometimes you
Yeah,
only see
there you
one
go.
parade.
fair enough. that's not wrong.
Spot
That's
the
not
lie.
wrong.
Spot
That
the
is
lie.
truth.
Hey, you never know. Maybe we'll have
well,
more than one parade.
To
I'm,
answer
I'm
the
married to
question,
the game, was.
I changed my light arrangement in front of my house. I changed it to a different color. We have 3 lights that change the bulbs. So it was orange, white this time. Changed that every time we've lost, and it's obviously worked only this time. And then the other thing was, of course, I ran Let's Go Oilers in downtown Edmonton.
Do you run by the fence?
Which fence?
The other fence. You were a block away from it. You ran right in front of me yesterday.
What?
Yeah.
What do you? Oh, you mean like the fence of the people waiting to go into?
No, the Oiler fence.
Like the one that has them hopping the boards and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
You were a block
Some
away from it,
person's
dude.
yard.
I
Oh,
thought that's
no,
where
I-
you're going.
No, yeah, I didn't.
You ran
I- I-
right in
I-
front of
You're,
me.
you're so locked in when you're running.
It's true. I do.
You're
I've
running
seen
down
you running when I'm
you're
on
running
my way
down
to work.
103 Avenue and you're crossing 116th Street. You literally, like, I was the Jeep. I stopped for you to keep running. you ran into the area where it's like you can't turn right into there. But if you go 1 block south of that, that's where that fence is.
Oh no, I missed it.
I thought
Straight
that's
up.
exactly where you're going.
Yeah, no, I missed it. My
We'll
bad.
see it tomorrow on your
I'll
own.
have to do. Yeah.
There you
Well, my knee is pretty bad right now, so we'll see if I can
Hey, it's the playoffs. We're all hurting.
get it together. But we'll try and get downtown to see if I can do some writing in the.
I crushed a zillion beers last night. I'm
the
still here
streets.
playing.
There you go.
Let's go.
God, I feel like
Fair
crap
enough.
right now, but I'm still here.
Well, that was a disjointed but fun segment of Ask the Idiots.
Yes.
Thank you, Waz, for
Well, we tried our
asking for
best.
some questions online there. And now that'll pivot us into our betting talk, courtesy of our friends at Bet365.
Download the app today because say it with me, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You can bet on a little bit of everything. The cup winner, points, goals. Connor McDavid, he might be due for one. Hey, you can also bet on some saves. Will it be Pickard? Will it be STuart SKinner? Either way, head on over to Bet365 and please play responsibly. 18 plus. And my line, I always say it, only bet what you're willing to lose. We don't unit shame over here. A win's a win. Put 50 cents down. I don't care. Bet365. It's the only place that I place a bet. How many times can I say place in that sentence?
That's, hey, you're a professional that places his words well. And we appreciate that, Aaron. I'm going to just take a little bit of time to get you guys an opportunity to pull up any bets that or anything that you're looking at for the upcoming game.
Rick, I got a wild card for you.
Please.
Pacers Thunder tonight. Pacers are plus 195 at home. They're up 2-1 in the series. Could they win game 4?
Hands up if you have Pacers to win at plus 500 the series.
Really? Shout out you, dude. Shout out. Let's go. So, yes. So the answer is yes. boys.
Well, then put your hand up if you have a parlay of the Oilers to win and the Pacers to win.
Put your hand up if you're an absolute stud. Get that hand up, Rick. Put that hand up.
Attaboy. Here you go.
So, yes, plus 195 Pacers smash it.
At this point in the series, this close to the cup, I have a couple futures out there I'm waiting on. Other than that, it's money line and money line only.
Okay.
Maybe
All
some
right.
live comebacks, but I don't want to hit the shots and we lose the game. Right now, I'm dialed in on only dubs.
Just for information purposes, not that I'm suggesting that anybody should be wagering at this point on that. As you said, Rick, it's tough to find any kind of value right now. But
No, but if you do, you should subscribe to Boardsy's Bankroll on pre.
There you go.
You can get 3 good prop bets.
the prop bets, the future bets right now as they sit to win the series, the Oilers are minus 120 to the Panthers plus 100. To win the Conn Smythe Trophy, we are currently sitting with Sam Bennett, actually, as the favorite to win the Conn Smythe at plus 150, then followed by one Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid right behind him there. Of interest, that's
Leon's
fascinating
plus
to me.
250, Connor's plus 260.
There you go.
That's
So
razor thin.
nice and tight. Those guys, of course, taking away from each other's odds there as well. For your information, right now, sorry, just looking to see if we've got. Oh yeah, the odds right now for most goals in the series. Leon Draisaitl sitting in the leader's position at plus 115, followed by Sam Bennett at plus 225, and Bradley Marchand, as I like to call him, at plus 300. Everybody else is at plus 2,500 units and above. So you've got a 3-horse race for the leading goal scorer in the series right now. My favorite and I think it's the funnest debate that we've had on this podcast a few times, is going to be the Stanley Cup handoff odds. And those are going right now still to Bag Milk's pick. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is the odds-on favorite to have the Stanley Cup handed to him at plus 240. And now a dark horse coming out of the Florida Panthers camp since the last few games is one Brad Marchand being the odds-on favorite for the Panthers, tied with Nate Schmidt at plus 360 to take the cup if
Why
they
Nate
take it.
Schmidt?
I don't know.
That makes
It's,
no. I thought that's what the
there's some
egregious one.
confusion. Well, it's Brad Marchand and Nate Schmidt have kind of just popped up there because Sergei Bobrovsky, who I believe took it last year from them, didn't watch it, still haven't watched it, never will watch it. He's sitting now at plus 1,600. So a little bit of weirdness going on from the Florida Panther side of things. Waz, is there a bet that you're looking at? I can see you're looking at your Bet365 app as we talk.
Well, you guys brought up basketball. You mind if I change it up? No one really cares, but the FIFA Club World Cup is coming up this weekend.
Whatever the moment, it's
Somebody
never ordinary. It's at
And
365.
I'm looking at the futures for this. Real Madrid is plus 400 to win this, with PSG at plus 450, Man City plus 500. I'm going to go PSG plus 450 to win the tournament because they won the Champions League, which is a pretty big deal.
There you go.
If anyone has any soccer questions, come my way. I don't.
You got me looking at the Stanley Cup handoff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Leon Draisaitl plus 400. It's Connor and Leon.
And
it's
that's
Leon
where-
and Connor.
And
That's
that's where the
where
debate
I
has
love
been on
news,
this
but
podcast.
Let's go on to Leon.
Especially if he wins Conn Smythe.
Yeah, I'm smashing this right now.
Wow.
Thank you, Dan.
Going into the Stanley Cup playoffs, the NHL put out an article, and the talk was that Connor McDavid is a bit of a student of the game, and he knows and understands the history that Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has had with this city, and so the belief is that I believe the prevailing thought is that Ryan Nugent-Hopkins will be the one that he
That's
hands it over to.
BM's thought.
But I've also
What
now
Corey
the
Perry, though?
mind shift has happened there.
Corey Perry's not
It's
getting it first.
Leon's team as much as it is
It's
Connor's.
Connor and Leon. Connor, Leon, Nuge is the way I see it going.
Yeah,
And then Darnell.
there you go.
Yep.
Kennedy, do you have any? Is there any lines that you've seen that enticed you or pulled you in? Not that's all good. I'm okay with that as an answer. You only should be betting if you're informed and you know what you're doing, and be doing it with our friends at
Bet 365 19 plus. Please play responsibly.
Awesome. That's it for another segment from us at Oilers Nation Radio, and that brings us into our final segment of the afternoon, our hot and cold performers of the week. And that's brought to you by the B Crew, which is just us, because there is no sponsor on this segment. As we know, Rick, you've put in a few ducats one time or another to get yourself sponsored on this segment. But we're going to start with our cold performers of the week, our veggies, as it were. Kennedy, what's in your world is your cold performer of this week?
This may shock you, but I'm gonna say Taylor Swift for
Ooh.
cheering actively for the Florida Panthers, even though it was for Travis, whatever. But
Mhm.
she made us win. So technically,
How did she make us win?
Hmm?
How did she make us win?
because she was just there and she was cheering for the Panthers.
Her curse
Her
is
curse,
alive.
her Tay Voodoo was backwards.
There you
Is
go.
it like the Drake curse? Does Taylor? I guess the Chiefs lost.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Taylor's-
saying. Anytime she cheers for a team in red, they lose.
Taylor Swift does have
Was
a
she dating him when they won the Super Bowl?
Yeah, that
But still,
So
last year.
so this theory doesn't make sense.
Well, last year
Hey,
they lost.
it worked for the
No,
Oilers.
Kennedy's shit talking Taylor Swift. I'm gonna let that
I'm not
ride.
shit
There you
talking.
go.
I'm just saying she was there. Therefore,
No.
The backtrack begins.
Taylor
I hate you
Swift
guys.
is
I hate you
Kennedy's
guys.
cold performer, and that's fair. Rick, you're a cold performer of the week.
It's the officiating. It keeps getting worse, and they don't seem to want to do anything about it. The main media doesn't want to talk about it for whatever reasons. It is out there. It's an issue. It needs to be dealt with. This is one of the biggest leagues in the world, and this is embarrassing what they have out there in terms of officiating. It needs to get fixed.
We usually have a button to press a sound effect to add in. We'll have to add those post. Great cold performer of the week from Rick was your cold performer of the week. Did you not think you were coming up?
No. I'm
Oh.
trying to think of a cold performer, and I'm gonna go, I guess, with this is pretty basic. The Oilers Game 3 performance, I guess. It was just kind of out of character. That's all I can say about that.
For me, Dan,
Yes.
I'll get a little more specific in my day to day. So I'm currently dog sitting at my mother's home. It's in a new area. It's got some new construction going down. She was the first house put up in this whole neighborhood area. There is so much construction going on outside my house. There are so many vehicles around my mother's house, I should say. There's so many vehicles parked around everywhere. There's a huge open area where every one of these workers could park their vehicles where it's not. I can't even back out of the driveway without 3 cars being in the way. I kind of got into it with one of the guys yesterday, and I was like, hey, man, do you see where you're parked right now? Like, do you see this? And either way, we had a nice little discussion this morning. Saw his car was moved. So I'm winning the battle so far.
There you
Been
go.
rattling my cage. That's really all I got. It's been a great week so far. Not much negativity. That's the only thing.
There you go. I like
And
it.
when that's the most negative thing in your life, you're doing all right.
Button. Sound effect. end. Okay, there we go. My cold performer of the week, Rick, you're going to love to hear this, is going to go out to the construction in this city.
Oh, yeah.
It has nothing to do with the driving,
Welcome to
other
the
than
team.
the fact that my Uber ride got double charged because of the road construction confusing the Uber app. But it's going to be for my run that I did yesterday, running 12 kilometers, trying to be able to draw some things on our city streets. And I met with bottleneck after bottleneck where they've just cut off complete pedestrian paths from being able to get across major arteries in the city. It's pretty wild to me that we have this LRT planning, which is great. We need to have the LRT extended throughout the city and get more public transit options, but you need to be able to leave at the very least, the option for pedestrians to still be able to get through your traffic and construction safely. So construction in the downtown core gets my cold performer of the week.
Show. Sorry.
That's okay. Hit the button, sound effect, negative sound effect, and we're back. And now that's all the negativity out of our system. We get to go into the positive nature, the good vibrations. Aaron, reversing the order, you get to give us your hot performer of the week.
I'm going to go with a member of the Nation Network for my hot performer this week, and I'm going with Patrick Puff. He has been behind the scenes down in Florida, the producer of Daily Face-Off Live and some After Darks, pre and post as well. But Pat has been put in the ringer, and as a fellow producer, we got to stick together. Pat does Daily Face-Off every day. He goes to the rink beforehand, gets all the sound bites from in the room. He then makes all the graphics, produces Daily Face-Off Live, posts the pod, does all the clips, then goes back to the rink. He's up in the press box. He stays till the very end, gets more sound bites post-game. He's putting in 15-hour days on game days. He's been grinding out there in Florida. Producers got to stick together. Game respects game. Patrick Puff. In my world, you bring the boom on post game instead of hot and cold. I got my boom and dooms. Patrick Puff gets 5 big fat booms, brother.
Nice sound effect.
Shout out, Pat.
Positive sound effect here. And we're back. Great job, Aaron. Was your hot performer of the week?
I'm probably stealing this from Kennedy, but let's go with the Dukes. Our boy from Australia who just popped out of nowhere at Greta.
That was shocking.
nobody.
Yeah. He told no one.
He got my reaction on video. I was
Really?
seeing it, yeah, and I shocked. Literally.
Oh my
I have
God.
to rewatch pre-gaming because my jaw hit the floor during
Same.
the show.
I was like,
do
what
I
are you
know
doing
what
here?
Dukes
Where did
looks
you
like?
come from?
Is this-
For those who don't know, Dukes is from Australia, nation citizen. He
Yeah.
flew 40 hours to come surprise everybody.
Unreal.
2 people knew Liam's parents. That
Where is he
staying with.
staying as well?
Liam's parents.
Oh, yeah.
And Liam's mom dropped him off at the bar
Amazing.
yesterday.
Yeah.
And I think maybe Dangerous Wade knew too, but that was
Incredible.
He said something on Bag Milk's podcast because you leave a voicemail. I'm thinking of coming here. Oh, I'm sorry.
Talking.
I wasn't close.
Talking
I'm
to
sorry.
the
I'm not
mic.
used to being on a microphone, Aaron. Jesus.
You've worked here longer than I have.
That's true. Well, this is a long story.
Keep
Aren't
talking.
you always on a microphone?
No, not really. No. Anyways. Yeah,
We
shout
don't
out
like
Dukes.
to let him on podcast because
Yeah.
he
Well, no,
refuses
like
to
all
put
your
his face in front of the mic.
Instagram thing, like the thing's a microphone.
Sometimes I use a microphone.
No, Rick, you are dead correct in this.
Those are
He
loud.
uses
Thanks.
microphones all the time.
Thought so.
All right. Was good hot performer
Thank you.
that you get roasted at the end of.
I don't know if they can hear you.
Rick, your hot performer of the week.
You know what? He really helped out get that dub last night, so you got to give it to my pal Cal. What he was able to do coming in cold wasn't easy for him. He had that massive save on Bennett in the third. A little bit of an oops that led to the tying goal, but that's all good. Bounce back in the overtime, and here we are. We'll see what happens in game 5 tomorrow.
Nice positive sound effect.
Kennedy.
Your hot performer of the week. Stop trying to steal my hosting job. Was
This isn't your podcast.
Team effort.
Was kind of did steal it, but I'm gonna generalize it in the way of the people that are just coming to Edmonton. So like Dukes obviously showed up. Felton booked a one-way. So Captain's been here for over a week now.
Yep.
And he's not returning till he has a win. And then I just got a text message from Goat and Little Bro. They're
yes.
in Seattle right now. They're landing here in Edmonton shortly. So they're on their way. We've had, Justin from Florida come in. We've had it's
Doobie.
Yeah.
Jenna from Jasper, who was in Arizona
Yeah, she
with
was there
us.
last night,
She was
too.
there last night. It has become this meet and greet of nation citizens and just Oiler fans. Of every time you turn a corner, there's somebody else that's saying, I'm on my way, or I'm coming up, or I'm here already, and or surprising us. So that's my hot performers. Everybody that's traveling in, regardless if it's, you know, an hour away or 40 hours away, halfway around the world, you get my hot performer, because this is where you're meant to be. It's home.
There you go. Nice one. Nice positive sound effect here. And great job, Kennedy. My hot performer of the week is going to go to 9-year-old Sophia, who after watching the hockey game, and after admittedly myself having to struggle with the Wi-Fi and the internet being accessed by everybody around me and trying to get that fight up, I was a little bit frustrated. It's been a pretty frustrating off season for hockeyfights.com, having only had 2 fights the entire time. Went to bed with you know, excitement from having a second fight, and then woke up to see that clip of her and just kind of was reminded of the excitement and the fun that is fighting in hockey, and is just why I am so proud to be able to be in charge of hockeyfights.com. But credit full mark to Sophia for having fun watching 2 guys just throw fists.
It's better than the UFC.
Positive sound effect. Great
Hell
job,
yeah.
Dan. And that's going to do it for us here at Oilers Nation Radio. From the entire B crew, I am Dan. This is Rick. We've got Kennedy, Aaron, and Waz. It has been our pleasure to bring you guys another episode of Oilers Nation Radio. Thanks to our sponsors, Odd Company, Oodle Noodle, and the
Bet365.
folks over at Bet365. Sorry, Aaron was mouthing that to me, and I was unable to decipher that. Broke my brain for a second. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will see you on Tuesday, back with the OG crew. And until then, let's go Oilers in game number 5.
We're also pre-gaming tomorrow. Be sure to tune in 5 p.m. Peace.